to really talk about what constitutes an educationally sound field placement for students who are in their foundation year, that would be their first field placement, when they enter the orientation, they are given a copy of the learning contract, which they will develop at their field placement. So that learning contract has all of the goals and objectives that students will need to obtain in order to pass the foundation. So when they're looking for a first year field placement, we're really looking for an agency that affords students the opportunity to really expand their case management skills, to work with referral systems within the community, to work with a variety of the populations. But what the first year placement is really set up for students to begin to really understand what services are in their community, what referrals are out there, and what client populations they might be working with. We often have students say, I've been in the field for 10 years, or I have a BSW, so I've done case management, I've done all of these things, so I really want a new placement that would allow me, for example, to do clinical work in my first year. The students in their first year have not yet received the coursework that would set them up to do clinical work in the first year, and we really talk with them about when they are doing case management in the community as a BSW, or even as another equivalent degree of what they see. They've been working at Child Protection or other agencies. They're really doing that at a bachelor's level. When they have gone through their first year of core foundation courses, we really see that as transformative for them. So I have students who will say to me at the end of their first field placement, I really thought I knew this, and you really required me to put on a different lens to do this work. So that's really why we ask them to step back and really to kind of commit to doing this type of a field placement their first year. Some of the characteristics that students should be looking for in a field placement when they actually first go out to do the interviews really fall back on the student to kind of look at that. I will say, first of all, that in their field ed manual, which they are provided when they begin the orientation, we have a wonderful list of questions that when students go to interview, they can take those questions and ask the agency. And some of those things are around, do you have the space for a student? Have you had other students in the past? Can you talk to me about why your agency takes students? What do you find in the value of having students here? You also really want an opportunity to meet with your field instructor. Some bigger agencies will actually have the student go in and interview with HR, with human resources, and students have not necessarily had the chance to meet with their field instructor. So we really want to be sure that that student and the field instructor make that connection and that that'll work for them. So you really want to look for an agency that has transparency, that welcomes a student. Some of the red flags for students are when they show up to interview, the person forgot that they were there, or they didn't maybe get a tour that day, or it seems like there's a lot of chaos in the agency. I often say to students, the agency is likely on their best behavior when you go to interview. So if that best behavior really isn't a place you want to be, then maybe we need to look for another place to interview. Some of the great placements for our first year students have really been places like school settings where they can, work with students, hospitals, psychiatric settings, Child Protection Services, Department of Human Services, residential settings, domestic violence. All of those are really great first year settings. Second year settings for students are often, again, psychiatric hospitals where they have a chance to really work with a variety of clients who have, from really severe to more minor diagnoses. And also a mental health center in the community. That's probably one of the most solid placements for our advanced year students, where they have an opportunity to really work with clients from the stage of doing the diagnosing, the treatment plan, and the therapy with the clients.